When Victor Harrow died, his lawyer gathered the family in a room so heavy with oak and old money, it felt like the furniture might judge me. My wife, Cassandra, sat center stage in diamonds and expectation. The will was read like theater, $18 million in cash, property, and investments to Cassandra. Side parcels to her brother, Marcus. The room hummed with the smug relief of rich people who think the universe is finally behaving. Then the lawyer called my name. He didn't hand me keys to a mansion or a check. He handed me a small, dusty envelope. The hyena chorus tittered. Cassandra leaned close. Try not to faint. Maybe it's a thank you card for marrying up. I slipped the envelope into my jacket. The lawyer's eyes, cool and steady, told a different story. Pay attention. That night, alone, I opened it. Inside, one sheet of heavy paper, a bank account number for Zurich Liberty Bank, and a single handwritten line. This is for my son-in-law, in whom I'm well pleased. I stared at the words until they stopped swimming. Victor, the man who'd watched me be the punchline at his dinner table, had written in whom I'm well pleased. I logged into the Swiss account. Security prompts. A drop-down that included son-in-law. And then the balance loaded, $142,000. I refreshed 3 times, then 5. The number held. Below the balance was a folder. Harrow Legacy. Private. Property deeds. Offshore accounts. A Caribbean island with a private airstrip. Blue-chip stocks. Art insurance schedules. Documents dating back to our engagement. Victor hadn't acted on a whim. He'd been building this for years. Another folder stopped me cold. Personal correspondence. Marcus Mitchell. Scanned letters Victor wrote but never sent. Observations of dinners where Cassandra laughed at my working-class habits. Nights I paid for parties in silence. Drives home where I ferried her drunk brother while he mocked my car. Victor had seen it all and decided character, not bloodline, earned stewardship. Meanwhile, Cassandra celebrated her inheritance like she'd been crowned. New friends, air-kissed sharks and couture, flooded the house. She trotted me out as a conversation piece. He still drives a Toyota, she'd purr. Isn't that authentic? Laughter. Always laughter. I buried myself in Victor's archive. Beneath the legacy folders lived something darker. Cassandra. Financial irregularities. Company cards used for client entertainment that looked a lot like luxury vacations. Consulting fees for work that amounted to hangovers and complaints about coffee. And Marcus? A masterclass in white-collar theft, shell vendors, fake contracts, a ghost condo development in Miami, siphoning millions. Victor had already consulted forensic accountants and, quietly, federal agents. He'd been preparing to clean his own house before death interrupted. I had 2 choices. Disappear with the $142 million and let the jackals devour what remained. Finish what Victor started. The decision landed the day Cassandra fired our housekeeper, Maria, who sent money home to her family, for not being refined enough for my new status. Maria stood in our kitchen swallowing tears while my wife practiced cruelty like an art form. That was my line in the sand. I moved $12 million into a clean account, insurance in case justice took a messy turn, then organized Victor's evidence like a prosecutor. Timelines. Transaction maps, copies upon copies. I mailed 3 identical packages to separate FBI field offices. No grand speeches. No name in lights. Just facts. 4 days later, the news broke like thunder. Harrow Industries executives arrested. FBI raids multiple properties. Footage of Marcus, bewildered in handcuffs, replacing his frat boy smirk with prey animal panic. Cassandra's cards frozen, contractors quitting mid-demolition, friends evaporating at the speed of self-preservation. Outside the courthouse, she looked small, like someone who had finally met the word consequence. I sent one last envelope to her attorney, Victor's stationery. One line in careful script. This is for my son-in-law, in whom I'm well pleased. The next morning, I walked out of our brownstone without a note. No suitcase, no Toyota. Just the balance of a Swiss account and a passport with a name that wasn't worth arguing about. A week later, I was on a beach in Costa Rica, learning the particular silence that comes when nobody knows you and nothing is expected but a sunrise. For 6 months, I tested the fantasy. Buy an island, build a palace, order my life to kneel. But the thrill of limitless acquisition evaporates fast. I didn't want more things. I wanted meaning and a cleaner mirror. So I built the thing that would have made Victor proud, the Victor Harrow Foundation for Working Families. We fund wage theft cases, keep roofs over heads, put kids from neighborhoods like mine into colleges without the anchor of debt. Every grant felt like a quiet toast to the kid I was, and a louder one to the man Victor believed I could be. I live simply now. A small house near a forgiving ocean. A truck that starts, work that fills rather than empties. The foundation runs without my name attached. The money grows because Victor invested like a patient predator, and I spend like a man who remembers ramen for dinner. Once a year, Lionel calls on a secure line. He updates me on the foundation and tells me I could still buy a small country if the mood strikes. I laugh and tell him I already have enough because the real inheritance wasn't the $142 million or the island or the art. It was a choice to stop auditioning for people who measure worth in zeros and to live by the only currency that spends everywhere, character. Cassandra and Marcus got what they chased, status, then shackles shaped like consequences. I got what I never knew I needed, freedom. Freedom from their approval. Freedom to direct power where it heals instead of harms. Freedom to look at a sunset and feel not scarcity or hunger, but peace. Victor's last line wasn't about money. It was a benediction and a dare, in whom I'm well pleased I aim to keep it true.